Okay, so I really appreciate everybody being here today and supporting me on the occasion of my recoup, relinquishing ceremony on wedding party. I appreciate your presence at this peculiar, maybe even confusing event. Perhaps you wondered, is this a celebration?
Yes.
Or is it more like a funeral, mourning a loss? The answer is, like so much in life, it's complicated. Exactly 34 years ago, in this very spot, I stood under a chuppah with Greg, and we exchanged our marriage vows. We saw our wedding as a sacrament before God and our community. I embraced Greg's view that divorce would not be an option for us. The chuppah symbolized, it's a Jewish symbol for the home and the life that the couple would be creating together and building. The foundation was to be our shared values of faith, commitment, compassion, honesty, social justice, and nonviolence. For 31 years, I felt incredibly blessed to have Greg as my companion. I thought that our marriage was an equal partnership and loving. I believed that we had created a meaningful life together. I was sure that if we ever parted, as far-fetched as that seemed to me, we would do it with integrity, intention, and compassion. I was sure that our friendship would endure, even if our marriage might not. The one thing in my life that I knew was true was that Greg would always be there for me. But the inconceivable happened. My world fell apart. I cannot possibly convey my trauma and pain. I will just say that I still struggle to understand how Greg could have left me in a way that betrayed the values that I thought we shared. The manner in which he left called into question everything that I believed about my life. I cannot look back on our 31 years with anything but searing pain and regret. Please don't wish for me to get over this and accept what happened. Do not pray that I will heal and get closure. Do not hope that I will reframe my perspective to remember the good times in those 31 years for my own sake.
All right.
And don't ask me to forgive Greg, because it will help me. Instead, I ask that you acknowledge that harm was done and needs to be addressed. You don't need to explain to me that, in fact, it actually won't be addressed. I will at least name it. I will not participate in banal politeness that tolerates the normative, even when the normative should not be tolerated. When people are careless, thoughtless, and do harm, I will name it. I will not gloss it over with empty platitudes or false equivalencies. Greg did me harm. I hope that for his sake, he will address it. It will be too late for me, but I still wish him well, and so I wish that for him. I am not expecting this recoup to give me closure and healing. It may be a step in that direction, but I don't expect I will ever get over this, and that's okay. It's the reality. I'm dealing with it. What I want of this recoup is to acknowledge and mark the dissolution of my marriage, a most precious thing in my life that I held sacred and true. I respect and honor my marriage, even if my partner did not. I am giving respect and honor to our parting. With this recoup, I'm relinquishing my vows to Greg. I am not relinquishing the values that those vows represented. I will continue to live my life dedicated to those values. And I thank you all for being here with me, giving me a new meaning for July 3rd. This chuppah symbolizes the home that I plan to live in without Greg. In this home, Black Lives Matter, women's rights are human rights, no human is illegal, compassion, kindness, care, and empathy is everything. The rainbow is not just an affirmation of pride for the LGBTQ community, but harkens back to the Rainbow Coalition, which originated in 1968 by Chicago Black Panther leader Fred Hampton to describe the multi-ethnic, revolutionary federation he founded. It symbolizes my commitment to struggle in solidarity and community for a better world. At the end of our marriage ceremony, Greg and I broke a wine glass. It's a Jewish tradition that is meant to remind us that in the midst of our joy, we need to remember that the world is broken and that many are suffering. As well, it symbolized the prayer that it may be as hard to separate the marriage as to repair the shattered glass. My heart was shattered as well as my marriage. I bring today a beautiful stained cup, reconstituted from broken glass. Wow. From the shards of my broken marriage, in the midst of my suffering, I will claim joy and beauty and renewal. Yeah! After I toast to myself, I want everybody to shout Mabruk, which is Arabic for muzzle tov. I stand before you alone, Wynd Kaufmyn. I will continue my journey in the world, committed in struggle for justice and beloved community.
Mabruk. Mabruk.